You think you bought that item online at midnight last night just because you happen to like it, or out of your own free will? Wrong. Inside the freezing server rooms of Silicon Valley and Seattle, tens of thousands of supercomputers are deconstructing your brain at trillions of operations per second. You think you're shopping, but in reality, you've just been precisely blasted by an algorithm in a meticulously planned psychological assassination. Welcome to modern commerce's most hidden, most ruthless cyber harvesting field. Here, money no longer drains away in the form of traditional bills. Instead, it morphs into pulsing, personalized pixels on your phone screen, pumping a steady stream of financial lifeblood directly into big tech's earnings reports. While the data throws a carnival, your savings evaporate in total silence. And the stock prices of tech giants skyrocket, trampling over the ruins of a bankrupt middle class. The official PR narrative always sounds like a caring digital butler. Big tech elites stand at launch events with warm, hypocritical smiles, telling you, personalized recommendations are here to make life more convenient. We use big data to filter out internet junk, delivering things that truly match your taste and elevate your quality of life. Recommended for you is a gift of efficiency from modern technology to humanity. It sounds so heartwarming that you might even feel this cold, sterile code understands you better than your own mother. Have these trillion-dollar tech titans truly become digital philanthropists expecting nothing in return? But what if I told you that this so-called recommended for you feature is actually the most sophisticated, serial financial murder mystery in commercial history, designed explicitly to drain your bank account? Let's completely rip open the filthiest underbelly of this cyber assassination. What's running in big tech's background isn't some benevolent artificial intelligence. It's a psychological hijacking army forged by top behavioral economists, neuropsychology PhDs, and Silicon Valley hackers. Their core business logic relies on exploiting your biologically irresistible, fatal weakness, dopamine. You think you're just casually scrolling through videos or glancing at chat logs? In the background out of your sight, algorithms are monitoring your screen dwell time and scroll speed at a pixel level. They are even calculating your current anxiety index and fatigue levels based on your typing speed and typo rate. Even more brilliant and sinister is their mastery of instant emotional monetization. At midnight, when you're feeling anxious, lonely, or insomniac from work stress, the exact microsecond your rational prefrontal cortex completely shuts down, the system immediately drops targeted, psychologically suggestive consumer goods you once browsed. They deny you any breathing room for rational thought. Through one-click ordering and Face ID express payment, before you can even process what is happening, they have legally extracted hundreds of dollars from your pocket. You aren't facing a recommendation script, you are up against a global supercomputer network specifically engineered to make you lose control. If you think a few $100s of monthly impulse buying is still within your salary's comfort zone, then you are vastly underestimating the appetite of these digital dealers. Because the ultimate goal of this serial murder isn't your spare pocket change. It is to completely neutralize your ability to accumulate wealth and climb the social ladder for the rest of your life. The psychological and real-world chain reaction of this endless debt is devastating. Your brain is fully domesticated by this algorithm, and you become completely desensitized to digital debt. By this, split it into installments, by that, zero interest. The result? Your savings plan evaporates into absolute thin air. The moment your monthly paycheck arrives, before it even warms up in your account, it gets sliced into dozens of tiny streams flowing directly through the fiber optic lines to feed internet platforms. Absurdly, you look around your room, and it's cluttered with single-use air fryers, hammocks, and hype toys gathering dust right after unboxing. You appear to live an incredibly rich, materially abundant life, but open your banking app, and your cash balance can't even cover 3 months of emergency unemployment expenses. Your financial defense lines are stealthily eroded by this slow-boiling, frog-in-the-pan code. When a real black swan strikes, layoffs, illness, or an industry collapse, the paper-thin dignity of the middle class shatters in an instant. Countless young people, who once had the potential to change their destiny through primitive accumulation, end up trapped just beneath the threshold of this algorithm, turning into permanently stagnant financial mummies. The climax of this collective financial slaughter plays out in the craziest, most absurd spectacles during annual e-commerce megasales, Black Friday, or live-stream shopping rooms. As the clock strikes midnight, hundreds of millions of people in front of screens act like possessed cult members, frantically tapping away. Gross merchandise value in the system's back-end surges by billions per second. The stock prices of tech giants draw aggressive green lines on the charts, and CEOs toast with champagne in luxury mansions. Meanwhile, on this side of the screen, countless ordinary people with bloodshot eyes and racing hearts experience a fake psychological climax the second they empty their shopping carts. It isn't until the next morning, staring at a room full of delivery boxes and an empty bank card, that a bone-deep emptiness and despair can drive a sane person mad. In this carnival, capital doesn't even need to mobilize military force. It just takes a few hundred lines of cold code to legally harvest the surplus value of all humanity for an entire year. Don't just sit there in front of your screen, marveling at the malice of code like it's a sci-fi movie. Right now, look down at your phone. That newly popped notification reading recommended based on your preferences has already quietly locked its crosshairs onto your wallet. Take a look at the real world we live in today. Skyrocketing prices, high inflation, and stagnant flat wages for ordinary people year after year. Every single one of us complains about not having enough money and blames the rising cost of living. But the truth is, big data from banks and internet platforms notices your shrinking wallet long before you do. Therefore, to sustain the annual revenue growth of these mega enterprises, they upgrade their smart recommendation algorithms to be even more covert, even more aggressive. They break down a luxury purchase you can't actually afford into a seemingly trivial phrase, only costs a cup of coffee a day. The algorithm precisely capitalizes on your real-world anxiety, constantly tailoring the cheapest forms of instant gratification just for you. Every time you click on that precise notification due to workplace stress, you think you're spending money to unwind. In reality, you are trading your next 5 or even 10 years of free labor time to feed a never-ending cash flow directly into big tech space-level code. Remember, in this masterfully designed capitalist game, if you don't have to pay for this hyper-precise smart recommendation, then you yourself are the product packaged and sold to advertisers. Your savings are the free fuel keeping these servers running. If you don't want to become the next financial mummy in this serial cyber murder mystery, the next time you see that recommended for you pop up, stare directly at that close button and empty your cart. This is your only legal, grassroots revolution against the consumerist matrix. But if you think smart recommendations are the absolute limit of big tech's exploitation of the masses, you clearly have no idea how those seemingly harmless phantom auto-renewals, which only deduct a few dollars a month without you feeling a thing, are structurally engineered through advanced psychology within big tech's core business model to become a legitimate, bottomless pit, forcing the global middle class to pay an eternal digital tax for the rest of their lives. We see you next episode.